Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I bring to you my more Dakka backslash Orks review. Um, I like Orks. I think those that have been here know. I don't say things to be a contrarian, but I do want to say, for almost the entire edition, the community has called things OP, and it turned out not to be OP. Not to say I've always called them right myself, but I think it's easier to look at something and go, whoa, and then come back down after a while. And then the things that haven't been called OP on release or on first reading, when they start to do good, everybody goes, no, that's not real, and makes excuses for it. So I want to give a kind of neutral thing on this because I think this is really good. But I want to talk about all the things that include playing orcs. Okay, not all the things. Some glaring things I'm seeing with this detachment that are going to be both good on the later half. So if you stick around, I'll highlight some things you should probably look into taking, and some things that right now where they fall. So let's go. Dakka 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 is the detachment rule. Orcs infantry and orcs walkers get sustained hits 2 during the orc player that has chosen more Dakka shooting phase. And if it's during the wall, get assault. Pretty darn good, hard to argue against it. Okay? Enhancements. Now, you see there's no points on them because GW has given it to us for free, but not really. If you want to see the points and things, you still have to buy the codex, and they have put them in the latest release. So first off, we have the Gob Shot Thunderburst for 15 points. The Bearer, for an Orcs model only, gets devastating wounds and hazardous on ranged weapons. That's that's fine. I don't think that you're going to need to take it often, if at all. And I don't think that's going to be what you spend 15 points on if you have 15 left over. Dead Shiny Shooters. Ranged weapons equipped by models in the Bearer's unit have Rapid Fire 1. This one is 35 points. Kinda steep. Could be worth it. But I also don't put that too high for 35 points for it to be one specific unit with Rapid Fire 1. I think you're already doing enough shots that you might not care about 35 points and instead find 5 more points for like Gretchen or some shit. It's good, but I think that would be the first thing that people start cutting if they realize they need some more stuff, which orcs always would like, right? Targeting squigs, +1 to hit for ranged attacks for the bear's models unit. Targeting squigs is 15 points. That's fine for 15. That's fine for 15. That's the one that I think if you have 15, you're taking it for 15. And jog off and eat Dakka. The Bears unit is eligible to shoot in a turn in which a failback. Kind of the same argument for dead shiny shooters. I think you're not for 10 points. You could just not do it. I think you could just keep your 10 points and maybe find another 5 to do the gob shot thunderbush maybe just to have one unit to fall back and shoot. I don't know. I'm not sold. The only one I'm truly sold on for its points is targeting squigs. So there's that. Now, going to the stratagems. Orcs are still orcs. Doing the fight phase, excuse me, one orc unit from your army that hasn't fought, reroll wound rolls of 1. And if that enemy unit is within range of an objective marker, you can reroll the wound roll instead. Let's get that back to geriatric. That's good for 1 CP. Long, uncontrolled burst. One orc character model from your army. Select one enemy unit within 18 inches of that orc character model. Until the end of phase, weapons equipped by orcs models from your army have the ignores cover ability while targeting that unit. You see something similar in Canoptic Court, with Solar Pulse, I believe is the name. People barely use that. So, is it good? Yes. It's good. It is good. It is good. But you very rarely do that stratagem, just from what is seen. It's good. I like it. It's good. That it's good. But yeah, I don't think you'll be using it as often as you might think. Get stuck in, lads. This one, I love it, and I'm surprised that it took them this long to do this. Get stuck in latch. One orc unit from your army until the start of your next command phase. The WA is active for your unit, even if you have already called a WA this battle. That means any abilities that are in effect while the WA is active for your army will be in effect for your unit. Love it, love it, love it. This is really good. Really good, really good, really good. Is it the best strat in the Orcs Codex? I'm still a fan of Art as Nails, but I think it's very good. So it's very good. Special sales. One orc unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot this phase until the end of the phase. Each time a model in your unit makes a ranged attack that targets the closest eligible target within 18 inches, plus 1 AP. Good. So essentially, you have two ways of getting plus 1 AP. Either ignore cover and everything that needs to target one thing, because there's no range restriction on things going into it, just you need a character model by there, plus 1 AP, special sales. So essentially, for 2 CP, you can have effectively plus 2 AP if you need that. So that's cool. Huge show offs. Your command phase, one Orcs Walker unit, except for Killicans, from your army until the start of your next command phase. Improve your unit's move, leadership, and objective control characteristics by 1. And each time a model of your unit makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll. Honestly, if you're taking walkers with this, the thing you give a fuck about is the plus 1 to hit if you don't have a mech in your list. I think you might want to still look into taking some mechs with your mech guns. Sorry. Well, you're going to attach big mechs to the mech guns, and the mech ability can only target one of the models if you take more than, if you take groups of like 2 or 3 mech guns. But if you are taking Orcs Walkers and mech guns, there might be an argument to take a mech or two to give them plus 1 to hit outside of the WA. So there's that. Call that Dakka. Your opponent's shooting phase just after it, just after an enemy unit has shot. Sorry. One orc unit from your army that had one or more of its models destroyed as a result of the attacking unit's attack, you can shoot as if it were your shooting phase, but must target only that enemy unit when doing so, and can only do so if that enemy unit is an eligible target. So, here's the thing that I do worry about on that one, because GW gets funky with FAQs. And unless I missed it, I might have missed it. There genuinely might be an FAQ already there. I know that this is going to be a question where people are going to get confused and say, your unit can shoot as if it were your shooting phase. So does that mean that you get sustained hits too, because you're shooting as if it's your shooting phase? However, Dakka specifically requires it to be during your shooting phase, not as if it was your shooting phase. So, the way rules as I believe intended, you should not get sustained hits 2 off of this ability. But to that point, it did specifically say as if it was your shooting phase, which it doesn't need to do that. I don't know why they keep adding that line, because if you're just saying you shoot the enemy that shot you, no shit, you're shooting. Like, I don't know. So that's odd, but that's how I would imagine for balance that they didn't intend you to get sustained hits 2 from it. But again, on the flip side, GW includes some odd FAQs sometimes. I would give an example of that right now, including some tyrannous things, but you're not here for that. So there is a chance that you will get sustained hits 2 for this, because it does specifically say as if it were your shooting phase, and that might be an issue. That might be an issue. But now that we have the layout of the land, how do I feel about more Dakka? I like it. I do like it. This clause is kind of to stop you from doing Overwatch all the time at sustained hits too. But we already know Overwatch with flash glitch is pretty decent anyway, right? The other thing is that I like it because it fills the gaps stratagem wise I've said this before, as what Tactical Brigade has. So, Tactical Brigade has a way to give you +1 to hit for ranged, and we already saw that's where orc shooting kind of hurts if they get +1 to hit. So, making up for that with sustained hits too definitely evens out. However, the stratagems in Tactical Brigade are +1 OC if you're within engagement range of some bullshit, so super whatever. Storm Boys get to do mortals. Fuck that. Sustained or lethal for, Orc Infantry mounted. This is pretty decent. Um, if your opponent falls back, you get to make a normal move. Fuck that, really. Doesn't really happen that often. Tactical Retreat. Your unit gets to fall back, shoot, and charge. That's good. And Dead Sneaky, uppy, downy commandos or Storm Boys. Fine, but also kind of not needed if you took more than one unit of Storm Boys, right? So this is all. These two are good. These are situational as hell. So I always felt that for Tactical Brigade to succeed, you're really depending on this and these two. So it's okay, right? It's fine. I didn't really include the enhancements in this discussion because enhancements, yada yada yada, whatever. Um, it's fine, but I like that this time around you have good stratagems like all throughout. They are going to help you damn near across the board, damn near across the board. Like giving any orc unit their wah ability, nice. Or the wah, really. Doesn't even have to have an ability that has the wah. Really cool, long, uncontrolled burst. It's cool, good again. Special shell is cool, good again. Reroll wounds. Like, you have a good host of stratagems. This is good. This is lovely. I like it. Now, here comes the party pooper thing. The one where I'm like, okay, can everybody relax a little bit? Because everybody did this with quite a few lately, and just forget that there are counters. And to that point, there's going to be counters in the meta. For example, I play a lot of monster mass tyrannids. I usually have monsters in my list. That's where, oh, surprise, missed the monster. Yeah, I probably am bringing more monsters than other people for other things. So am I worried about it? Tank busters a little bit, but uh Tyranids as an army is good at eating orcs. We're fairly okay at doing that. So if anything, I think you might have the fact of more Tyranids starting to get wins or things like that. Because now I can bring my Maliceptors out and take care of some other things. Tank busters are still going to be a hell and a half, but again, for me personally, and the other armies I play, Tyranids and Necrons, I'm not too worried. Necrons a little bit more than I am with Tyranids, I'll say that. So you have other things that are in the game that'll kind of keep the orcs in check that aren't doing too amazing themselves. Like, Tyranids will probably help thin out the orc numbers, but we're not going to go win the tournament ourselves right now, if we're being honest. So, things to that, you have to keep that in mind. What other things in the meta? Well, that's just from own test, but like, you have to. There are other things that can kill infantry. In fact, a lot of things can kill the orc infantry because that's the thing with orcs. You're still looking at T5 4 up save for the big mech with shock attack gun. For looters, you're looking at T5 5 up save 1 wound for 10 bodies. Like, there's still that. And tank busters, T5 4 up save 2 wounds. Now, here's the thing that everybody's going to say. And I'm going to throw something back in everybody's face right the fuck now. Oh, but they'll just be in trucks. It'll just be fine. They'll all be in trucks. Da 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 da. You can't do it. Hey, remember when Drukhari Sky Splinter Assault was popping off? For a while there. And the advice was just shoot the transports? Just shoot the transports. And that's what I say to more Dakka. If that's the concern of trucks, spam, things coming out and doing it, just shoot the transports. Because compared to Sky Splinter Assault, there's nothing that there's no tricks here. Once the orcs are out, they're out. Overwatch them once they get out. If they don't have a stratagem to keep the transports alive in Mordaka, they don't have a stratagem to get back into the transports in Mordaka. They don't have anything defensive in Mordaka. Like, this is full glass cannon. You are hoping that it is just range damage that will keep you there and the speed of your trucks. So if that was your advice for Sky Splinter Assault, you might want to think about that for more Dakka. And I don't say that to be spiteful and vindictive, but genuinely, if that was the wisdom and knowledge for this, I think that's kind of where the fuck this is going to go. You just pop the trucks. And even when orcs have been doing fine with Tactical Brigade, that's the other side that I want to talk about it. There's nothing defensive. Because with Tactical Brigade, whoopsie, uh, you have not only +1 to hit at range, you're also getting shit like stealth and benefit of cover. Now, they have changed Tactical Brigade, but that was where Tactical Brigade was going wrong. You were getting both of those things at the same damn time. And guess what? Orcs still weren't dominating like that. So, sustained hits 2 only during your shooting phase. Mind you, this was um just going off, right? Is affected until the start of your next command phase. So during your opponent's turn 2, you're getting stealth, benefit of cover, +1 to hit for ranged attacks on that shooting. Just during your shooting phase, sustained hits 2 for, yeah, some serious stuff. But that's where I fall into it, where yes, I understand that they have a lot of bodies. They've always had a lot of bodies, but Mordaka has nothing to help you right now. But this is a big but. They can. They can, and nobody's going to. Why is nobody going to? Because they didn't do it in Dread Mob. Yes. Why am I talking about Dread Mob? Because that's all this is. This is a different take of Dread Mob. They did infantry and walkers. They did infantry and walkers and grots. Right. That's what they did. Don't know why they did it. Ignores cover. They put it in different places. Da 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 da. They saw people don't want to play Dread Mob the way Dread Mob asked you to. They said, hey, how about this time? In my opinion, this should have been infantry mounted in vehicles. Like I think you could have just covered all of it. That way, people at least think about taking the buggies and maybe a plane. Clearly, they don't really want to go that route, but I don't know. I just feel like that's kind of a lost opportunity. So, with what I just said in mind, here's my other thing. We've seen the Dread Mob list. The Dread Mob list hasn't done great because this is going to happen again. And there's one thing that I've been seeing a lot of that I'm very confused about. Um, Not that, unfortunately. It's Zodgrot. Wartsnaga. Sorry, I skipped ahead on my own things, on my own notes. Everybody's like, yeah, Zodgrot with the Gretchen. Give him the wall every turn, and it's going to be insane. Yeah, you get them +6 movement, but I don't think that's what you will be wasting the command point on every turn. You still get this stuff. You still get Scouts 9, +1 to hit, +1 to wound, -1 to wound going into them. I don't think that's what you're going to be doing. In fact, I have a better suggestion off of the back. Maybe not a better suggestion. Let me roll that back. Not a better one. A different suggestion off of who was I watching? I think somebody asked. Let's say it was Art of War. That's probably who it was. Somebody asked Art of War if you're taking any melee. Somebody asked somebody. Maybe not just throw everything on Art of War when in doubt. Somebody asked somebody if you're going to take any melee in this while I was watching, and I think you do. I agree with the take. Whoever gave the answer, is like, yeah, you might take some, but maybe not like a lot. And a lot of I think that discussion is where I'm seeing everybody pivot to Zodgrod. And I don't, again, Zodgrod's cheap, and so are the Gretchen. So that might be nice. But I don't think you waste the WA point on Zodgrod for that. Um, I think you waste it on gas if you were to do it. And here's the other thing, okay? So remember when you played Bully Boys specifically because you got two instances of the wall on a unit that, I don't know, mega knobs? Yeah, I think if you do look into just a little bit further of what units give abilities while having the wall active, I think this time around people might actually remember gas exists. And I don't say that just because I have a weak spot for gas. I really don't think that people are going to pick up on this. So I'm throwing this out to the wind that maybe you might do this. But while gas is leading the unit, plus one to hit, plus one to wound, crits on fives if the Y is active. But not only does gas get crits on fives while the Y is active, Makari gives a foot out a 12-inch aura of lethal hits for the rest of your army. And the Mega Nubs have a 5 up Feel No Pain on top of all the benefits of the Wa being Advance and Charge, plus 1 to Strength and Attacks, and a 5 up Invuln, while being T6 with a 2 up save and 3 wounds. So, I'm just saying, if everybody was like, yeah, I'm going to spam Mega Nubs, now I understand Mega Nubs got hit points wise and rules wise. But some people have still been playing Bully Boys. If there was ever a unit to spam this ability now, just to have a melee counterpunch unit, it's Gaz and a brick of Mega Knobs. I don't mean just the two escorts. I think you might genuinely consider, because the rest of your army is cheap with Ludas and Tank Busters went up to 135 and the Flaskets. I didn't pull up Flaskets. Let's look at Flaskets. They're 80 for 5, right? Do. Yeah, 80 for 5. Uh, you are going to have at least the chance for a counterpunch unit, and because you Orks is still Orks. Yeah, I went for that. You can have access to reroll ones on something, and this wall is active for your unit until the start of your next command phase. So, I think genuinely people should consider gas. Because the thing that I had up that I know you're not going to take, but I do want to point out, Gorkanaut and Morkanaut. Specifically the Gorkanaut, because it's cheaper. And, it also has ability when the Y is active. Morkanaut does too. Instead of ranged, it's melee. I'm sorry, instead of melee, it's ranged for the Morkanaut. But it costs a little bit more. Gorkanaut, T12, 3 up save, 6 up invuln, 20 wounds. Why am I trying to urge you about this again that you didn't play in Dreadmop? Because not only if you give it the Wah here, you can't give it the Wah here, like every turn, whatever turn, right? It's a transport. It is still a transport. So, back to my whole, hey, if your advice for shoot the transports applied to Sky Splinter Assault, if anything, it should apply here, right? Um, Especially because trucks are, you can pop a truck. That is not hard. Um, so Gorkanaut is a transport that can contain 12 infantry models. Cannot take gas, but here's the thing. A Deathstorm Mega Shooter, 36 inches, 20 attacks, rapid fire 10, advanced and charge, assault advanced and charge, plus 1 to hit and melee. You won't really need that part. Access to plus 1 to hit for everything if you don't go with the giving it assault part. And mind you, transport, so you can't necessarily advance and just, do the thing. Keep that in mind. But yeah, you might really want to consider this time, because I know we didn't do it here, and I know nobody's going to do it now. But if you're not thinking about the gas brick of 260, sorry, 235, maybe 210, I don't know. I know everybody's going to stop here and never try past it. But a 5-up field up paying for that every turn and giving the rest of your shit lethals in melee while having access to orcs is still orcs, and then the sustained hit. I'm just saying. But going back to the Gorkanaut, I understand Titanic isn't hot right now, and again, there's no defensive stratagems in this, so it's not as hot as Imperial Knights. But you are Titanic, Towering, and a Walker, so you do technically have access to a little bit more movement shenanigans with things like heroic intervention. But you are a transport. They can get up the field. Insane that they didn't nerf Gilliman and Double Oath, but hey, fuck that, right? So yes, I understand that's going to be the immediate counter to this point. Just like, but Oath, Gilliman, I know. Um, but Deathstorm Mega Shooter, Rapid Fire 10, 36 inches, Assault, Sustained Hits 2, 20 attacks. You can make it hit on 4s, 611. Not to mention that you now have access to that. That's just the one gun. It applies to like your entire thing during your shooting phase. Sustained hits 2. So 2d3 blast, 923, scorches, whatever, but assault scorcher, twin big shooter, rapid fire 2, twin link, 2 of them, right? Yeah, 2 of them. Get 6 more attacks in there. Possibly go up to 10. So I'm just saying, if there were some worries to be had, you can alleviate them between the Gorkanaut and Gazgul Thraka from the Orc player side. But the Orc players won't do this. They won't. I already know. Already know. Now, it might go really bad, and everybody goes, what happens? And somebody stumbles upon this video and tries it. But there's several reasons why they won't try it. I know, I understand. Da 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 da. But this is the advice to prep for the counter when everybody realizes, oh, I can shoot trucks. The same way I said I was supposed to just shoot the transports with Sky Splinter Assault, you can just shoot the trucks. And then you are killing orcs that aren't that tough to kill. Unfortunately for the orcs. Now, the other thing that might happen though is people realize that this is really real, and the fact of why Sky Splinter Assault was really real. Just because you say, hey, just shoot the transports, doesn't stop it from winning when that isn't the actual counterplay, because they have things to help them keep their transports alive and keep them alive by going in transports and doing things like that. So, it's going to be a doozy, and it's going to require people to write different lists. That's definitely probably an effect it will have on the meta. I can see that happening, where you have to write a different list, but at the same time, currently, big things are doing okay. So, if everybody remembers that almost every army has access to bigger things, I think it'll be kind of fun. Oh, and to that point, another thing that I think will kind of just keep orcs in check, Plague Legion. Not even joking. I've talked about already how my first take was wrong, but after that I have seen the light or the stench of Nurgle Plague Legion. Plague Legion just got buffed because Nurgle units have got buffed, and they have an aura of can't be shot outside of 18, and they now both Rodigus and Great Unclean One have 6-up Feel No Pain and can go up to T13. So, good luck with that shit, right? We're just talking about sustained hits too, not lethal, so, Flash gets can try. You better hope your tank busters don't get flame or overwatched at that 18 inches. But yeah, you better make it count. Pop the transports if that was everybody's advice the first go around while they were calling Drukari non-existent. And mind you, it's not just one person. Like the entire community just turned. It's like, Drukari are fake, and then it's just like Drukari won 3 more tournaments this weekend. I'm not getting past that. And GSC treatment. Those will be my things that I keep that'll annoy me for the rest of the edition. But yeah, that's what I think about more Dakka. Here's the things as to why it won't be that overbearing, because you're still playing fucking orcs and they're just going to bring trucks because nobody's going to try the thing that Dreadmob told you to do, the bigger thing, which is the walkers. And if they do finally bring the walkers and Orgas with Mega Knobs getting a 5-up Feel No Pain every turn, then there's going to be an issue. But because I'm pretty confident at this point that nobody wants to try these units with this mix of things, I think it'll fall off. People will go, "See, it didn't have any potential that much. It was not that bad." Orcs are probably still going to get nerfed. And tell me what happens in 3 months, and then we're all going to be sitting here like, "Man, Orcs got nerfed again," because everybody freaked out. But it turns out that Orcs won like 3 tournaments or something. Yada yada yada. But that's massive, massive. That's a lot of hypothetical predictions off of it one day. That usually I try to avoid, but it's just kind of insane to me that everything that's been called Turbo OP has been like, okay, it's been fine, except for ooh, except for Bridgehead maybe. Yeah, the Scions were a little bit annoying, but they got fixed like really quick. I think besides that, everything else has been like, oh, this is gonna break the game, and then people play against it and go, oh, it's like whatever. So that's where I stand on all this. Yeah, more Dakka. Probably try it out while you can. I see this getting nerfed no matter what happens, probably whatever. So have fun while you can. Yeah. If you like the video, like it. Got a comment for me, comment. And until next time, peace out, my monstrosities.